Hey there, this is Chad Garber, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to play Dazed and Confused by Led Zeppelin on the guitar. And here are the parts. There's about 9 parts. Actually, there's more than 9 parts, but I'm only covering 9 parts. Then there's and then there is then there's then there's then there's and that's also the beginning. There's this part. So by the way, if you like these videos, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'd be awesome. Okay, here we go. First part, low E. Oh, actually, the first part, the bass comes in, okay? And the bass goes do, and what you're doing is you're gonna put your finger, your middle finger, over the 12th fret, the bar actually, and don't put it all the way down, but just place it over it, and do the B and the B and the E. Yeah, the exact 12th fret. So you put if you don't know how to do this, you don't put it on the fret. You put it on the little metal bar, and you just put your fingers over it. You just put your fingers on it, and then you just pick it, and it goes. All right. Then you do the same thing. Go to the 5th bar, 5th fret, and do the same thing on the B and the E. All right, and then he hits the he goes to the G and hits the 12th fret of the G. And apparently he does something like, he does something weird, but I can't really do it without messing up my string, so you can just go, give a whammy, or whatever you do, whatever. All right, and then he goes back to the 5th fret bar, and he picks the B and the E. And then he goes B, E, back to the B, and then to the G, all doing that same kind of. Alright, and then he goes to the 12th fret and lightly taps the G and the B string. There's a little vibrato. Alright, then he goes back to the 5th fret and just strums the B, or the G, B, and E string. And you can listen to it to get a better feel for where it goes and everything. So that's the first part. All right, then the first part of the guitar comes in, is it goes low E. And you're going to put your ring finger on the 9th fret of the A string, and you're going to bend it just a half step. So it's kind of like he's doing this. He's trying to get to this note. He's trying to get to the 10th note on the 9th fret, but bending it, okay? And that's what he does the whole time. It's a single half-step bend. All right, so. All right, so you do the bend on the 9th fret of the A string, and then you end up on the 9th fret, of the A string not bending. Then you bend, do the same thing, you go down 2 fret to the 7th fret of the A string, and you do the same thing, you bend it half a step. So you bend it half a step, then you actually hit the 7th fret with your pointer finger, by the way, and just hit the note there. So my ring finger on the first one, my pointer finger on the second one. And then you pick down mostly. Then you hit the low E again. Go to the 4th fret of the A string and do that same kind of thing. Then you go to the 2nd fret of the A string and do the same thing there. Really an awesome lick, by the way. I used to play it like. Okay, but I just realized that I just saw a lesson actually where it's so much cooler. It's the little things that make things really cool, but that's such a cool thing. All right, so again, it's just basically all you're doing is you're doing the 9th fret and the 9th and 7th fret and the 4th and 2nd fret, and you're doing the whole half a bend into that actual fret. All kinds of cool vibrato. You can listen to him. Alright, so that's the first part. And then over top that, he's either using like an octave machine or something, or he's doing it manually. I don't know. But if he's doing it live, he probably uses an octave machine. But all he's doing there is he's doing the same thing, just an octave higher. And so you do it on you put your middle ring finger on the 14th fret of the high E and go. And then you bend it up that half step. And I don't think you have to worry about doing that. If you're playing guitar, you could go. But if you're playing guitar while somebody else is playing the other part, it wouldn't hurt to go. Hit that low E there, but you don't have to. I probably wouldn't do it actually, because it would probably get in the way. All right, so 14th fret, bend, half step, then back to the 14th fret. And then to the 12th fret, do the same thing. And I usually just take my ring finger, go down, and do the same thing. I'm using my ring finger. And then go down to the 9th fret of the high E and do the same thing. And then the 7th fret of the high E and do the same thing. Okay, and that's going on again while he's doing this. So that's that part. Alright, now the 4th part is you're going to hit a bar chord. You're going to put your pointer finger over the 2nd fret of the A string and your ring finger over the 4th fret of the D string, and you're going to hit that bar chord. Hit that 3 times. So you're going to hit that bar chord. Then you're just going to do a box. You're just going to go from put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, hammer on to the 4th fret of the D string using your pointer finger. So hammer on using your ring finger. Then you're going to pick down on the 2nd fret of the G string and hammer on to the 4th fret of the G string. Then you're going to go back to the D string and do it again. So it's. And you want to muffle it so you don't hit all the other notes. Yeah, you want to make sure you just hit those single notes. Alright, so that's that part. Then it goes into all that stuff. I'm not going to go through it all. He does all the kind of weird stuff with all this delay and stuff. Next part I'm going to go into is this part. It's the beginning of his guitar solo, but I think it's worthy to be a part, even without the solo. I mean, even if I'm not going through the solos, but I think this part should be a part outside of the solos. Because the bass is doing that same thing. All you're doing is you're doing a pentatonic scale just doing the A, D, and the G strings on the E pentatonic scale. You're just going, it's similar to this. You're doing it starting on the 12th fret of the A string and using your pointer finger there, and then hammering on to the 14th fret of the A string. Then you go down to the 12th fret of the D string with your pointer finger and hammer on with your ring finger to the 14th fret of it. Then you go to the 12th fret of the G string. And you do the same thing, except for this time at the end, you say you put your finger on the 12th fret of the G string and then hammer on with your ring finger to the 14th fret. And you're going to pull off, though, back to the 12th fret. And then you're going to pick down on the 14th fret of the D string. And then you're going to start over. The second time he does it, he doesn't go back. He goes. First time he goes, then you repeat it. This time he ends on the 12th fret. You pull off only to the 12th fret of the G string. You don't go back to the 14th fret of the D string. Okay, so it's. That's the next part. Okay, then after that, he goes to this. No, I'm sorry. After that, right after the solo, he goes to this part. He goes. And all that is the bar chord, E bar chord. Put your pointer finger on the 7th fret of the A string, not the 7th fret. 7th fret. Yeah, 7th fret of the A string, and put your ring finger on the 9th fret of the D string and your pinky on the 9th fret of the G string. You go down 2 frets and put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string and your pinky on the 7th fret of the G string. Then you put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the E string and your ring fingers and your pinky, or your ring finger on the 7th fret of the A string and your pinky on the 7th fret of the D string. Go back to that first chord. Then end up at the, put your pointer finger on the 10th fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 12th fret of the D string and the pinky on the 12th fret of the G string. And that's that part. So alright, so then, because of this part, and all you're doing there is you're putting your pointer finger on the 7th fret of the E string, put your ring finger on the 9th fret of the D string, and your pinky on the 9th fret of the G string, and you'll be holding down the other chords with the pointer finger. You'll also be holding down you're basically holding down the E and the A with your pointer finger on the 7th fret. And then you're hitting those other 2 notes. You can actually just use the bar all the way down. You don't have to do that because that sounds absolutely terrible. So you're just hitting those first 4 strings. Then you slide the whole thing down with your pointer fingers on the 5th fret of the E and A strings, and your ring finger and your ring fingers on the 7th fret of the D string, and your pinkies on the 7th fret of the G string. And then you just do octaves. Put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the E string, and your pinky or ring finger on the 5th fret of the E string, and your ring finger or your pinky on the 7th fret of the D string. You slide it down to slide it down with your pointer fingers on the 3rd fret of the E and your pinky or ring fingers on the 5th fret of the D. You go back up. So here's the whole thing. Then you go back to the first one again. It's not really the first one, but you go back to where your pointer finger is on the 7th fret of the E string, and your pinky or ring finger is on the 9th fret of the D string, and then you do that and you get on 2 frets again. The same thing, except for this time you go your pointer finger's on the 10th fret of the E string and your ring finger's on the 12th fret of the D string. And you go back to that same chord you were at a second ago. So it's... And you finally go to the 12th fret of with your pointer finger on the 12th fret of the E string and your ring finger on the 14th fret of the D string. And you go down to the 10th, your pointer finger's on the 10th fret of the E string, and your ring finger, or pinky, is on the 12th fret of the D string. It takes so much time to tell you all that, but it's really easy, very easy part. The whole part is... Then he goes to the D, he has open D. Then does the open D 4 times. And put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the G string. And go, actually put your ring finger on the, your pointer finger will be there, but also put your ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string, of the G string. And you're just going to pull off to the, like this. Pulling off where your ring finger's on the 7th fret of the G string. You pull that off to where your middle finger is on the 6th fret of the G string, and then your pointer finger ends up on the 5th fret of the G string, and then you repeat. So. On the live. Hitting the live part, it goes. I just don't know what that is, but that's really a cool part. It doesn't do that on the studio version, but it is on the live. But anyway, so. Alright, so then, the last part, you're basically doing a D power chord. Put your pointer finger on the 5th fret of the A string, your ring finger on the 7th fret of the G, of the D and the G strings, and you go. And then eventually you'll go. Just going back to the E chord, which is your pointer finger on the 7th fret of the E, and your ring finger on the 9th fret of the D, and your pinky on the 9th fret of the G. Okay, so the whole last part is. I'm not sure how many times he does it. You just gotta listen to it on that part. That is it. If you enjoyed this video, again, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day jamming with Led Zeppelin.